So this interview is with JV. He's created a really impressive informational product, an ebook, just teaching kids how to resell sneakers. He's done really well with it. He's created a website around it, and it's an incredibly entrepreneurial story. And so here it is. So, hey, this is JV. I'm Max, and this is kind of the first episode of what I hope to be a series of interviews, kind of illustrating entrepreneurship at all levels. Kind of illustrate what you've done, what you have, and how you built it, just to start off as a general summary.
Sure. My primary project right now is an ebook. So I built the website to host the ebook, and I found ways to drive traffic and get customers and create a remote source of monthly recurring revenue, which has always been my goal since I think 4 years ago, whenever I first read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek.
And it's called Six Figure Sneakerhead, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you can check it out at sixfiguresneakerhead.com. It's a relatively simple website, but it's done wonders for JV. And it's based off of sneaker reselling. But how did you get into sneaker reselling, and kind of what's that like?
Yeah, so I had always done, I guess, entrepreneurial things. Just randomly one day doing research, I realized that shoes made by Nike and Adidas were reselling above the retail price, which was incredible. And I saw, the first pair of shoes I saw was retailing at $220, and it was selling on eBay for $800. And I decided I need to start doing this because it's a great gateway to exercising your entrepreneurial muscle where you don't know where to start, because the branding's in place, the marketing's in place.
Yeah,
Nike's
everything's already set up.
Yeah, it's already established brands. There's already a market there. Forbes estimated the sneaker aftermarket to be $1 billion. And it's easy to just grab a piece of that pie and just learn the skills. So I started reselling shoes, and I realized it was actually a lot harder than it seemed at the surface. It took me months, or I guess like a full year, to really scale my process and become really profitable. Then it became my primary source of income, and it was pretty good. And people were asking, wow, you're just selling shoes? I was like, yeah. So and cool. I realized that no one was teaching how to do this. And the act of packing, selling, acquiring shoes required my physical presence, and I was still drawn to a remote source of income. And I was like, how do I productize this knowledge?
Yeah.
And
how do you automate it?
Yeah, I wrote an ebook, so that's that.
Okay, cool. And so you set up the site. So you originally selling sneakers just kind of on eBay on different sites, and then from there you wanted to automate it. So you didn't have to, like you said, you didn't have to have your physical presence there. You could just kind of let it run, or at least do it over the internet, over the web. And so how long did it take you to set up the website? But like originally?
To get it up and off the ground and just there, I'd say it only took me a week.
A week. And you built it on WordPress or what platform?
WordPress.
Just WordPress. That's awesome. And then how long did it take you to write the ebook?
Maybe 4 months.
Yeah.
160 pages.
160 pages.
Yeah.
It's kind of like satisfying, because you'll just be sitting somewhere doing some work, whatever, and you'll get a little notification on your phone. I think it's from PayPal.
Yeah.
It says like, hey, you just sold another ebook. Here's however much it's for.
$29.
Yeah, here's $30. So it's nice. I think that's a nice little way to kind of just see how much you're making, just feel like you're actually doing something for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The internet-based source of income is so scalable, and I always found that so fascinating, how with the internet you're plugged into the entire world, and it's just a matter of being seen. You can go from 1 ebook a day to 10 ebooks a day, and that's the difference between $900 a month and $10,000 a month. You can do that in a matter of months, just based on growing your audience, and it's just so scalable. It's like turning up the volume when you're listening to music. It's the continual process has been learning how to turn the knob.
That's so cool.
Yeah, with you being at the driver's wheel, you'll gain a skill set, and that's something that you could even transition to a job or start doing consulting after doing that. So it's a learning process. It's paid learning, and it's also paid vacation.
Is there any upkeep on the site? Like, how much do you spend? Like, how much time do you spend on it per week?
10 hours, maybe, plus or minus 5 hours.
Yeah, okay. And if you're okay with sharing it, like how much do you typically make, like just a ballpark, how much do you typically make off of the site per month?
Per month?
Yeah.
It's around $3,000 now. Or this month it's wrapping up around $100 a day.
And you drive traffic to this site exclusively through, you don't do any advertising or anything like that, you just do SEO mostly?
Yeah,
right? So
I'm
search
starting
engine.
to do advertising. That's another
Awesome.
strategy I'm implementing and learning about as I scale the website.
And we should have hit this first, but how old were you?
I'm 27.
27 years old,
Yeah.
okay, awesome. And what did you study in college?
I started as a freshman. I was a psychology major, and then sophomore I did chemistry, and that's
Okay.
it.
And did you end up getting a degree?
No, I stopped going, and I was just like selling things.
So that was JV. He's an awesome guy. He's a great friend of mine. He's traveling the world right now, having a ton of fun. I met him randomly at like a local event. He's a great guy, and the purpose of that video was to show you an example of an internet entrepreneur, someone who's successfully done some small form of entrepreneurship, something clever on the internet. I also want to build a separate video on going through his website, which is sixfiguresneakerhead.com, like I said before. I want to go through it. I want to assess what he did right. I want to figure out what made it so special. What did he do that was so impressive that allowed him to create something so powerful? And further along that, I want to do a video, maybe a video series on trying to create our own site around kind of a similar methodology. So after assessing what he did right, what we think was so impressive about his site, trying to apply that knowledge to our own website and seeing if we can make a similar product, make an ebook, make it as successful as his, or even just a little bit of success, see if we can sell something. I'm also going to post the full interview with JV on a separate video, and I'll link it to you in the description, because what you saw was really cut down. It was only about 10-15 minutes, I think, but the full interview was around 45 minutes long, and I moved around and it was a little weird, but there's a lot more really interesting information in there. There's a lot more about JV, about what he thinks about entrepreneurship, where he's going to go in the future, how he built up his site, a little bit more about that. There's a lot of really great information, but it is a bit longer, and so I wanted to summarize it for you in this interview, and then I wanted to give you the opportunity to look at everything he said. So I'm going to post the full interview in a separate video. If you haven't checked out my main site, it's studyingentrepreneur.com. I'm trying to build a lot of content around entrepreneurship. I'm trying to teach people what entrepreneurship means, because there's so many horrible misconceptions. So please visit the site, and I would absolutely love it if you got in touch with me. Please email me, studyingentrepreneur@gmail.com. I might change that later, but please email me. Please get in touch with me. I would really, really like it. It would be great to, if you've done something entrepreneurial, I would love to interview you. I would love to hop on a phone call and just hear your story. If you want to learn more about entrepreneurship, I would love to teach you everything I know. I would love to have an email conversation, just hop on a call, just talk about anything. I think communication is incredibly important, and it would be great to hear from anyone who's interested. So please reach out to me, and that's all I got. Thank you.